Hello, and welcome to a detailed tour of the RoamRight mobile app. My name is Vicki Zidwick, and I'm the Marketing Communications Manager here at RoamRight, and I'll be your moderator for today's event. A few housekeeping items before we get started. This call is being recorded. You are in listen-only mode. If you have any questions or would like to chat with us, use the chat box that's on your computer screen. If it doesn't appear, please click the Show Chat in the top left corner of your screen. We will be tweeting during today's event. You can see our Twitter information on the screen. Our handle is @RoamRight, RoamRight, and the hashtag for today's webinar is #RoamRightApp. Before we dive into the details of the app, let me give you a little bit of background on the history of the app. We created it because, quite frankly, we decided it was time to bring travel insurance industry into the 21st century. This is the most comprehensive app available by a US-based travel insurance provider, and we found that travelers need a little bit more than just a travel insurance policy to keep them safe and protected. So this app provides the useful tools and information that travelers need to stay safe and protected wherever they go. We also hope that it's a differentiator for travel agents to use to provide their travelers the very best level of service that they deserve. Anyone can download the app. Some features within the app are free for everybody, whoever downloads it. Some features are available only to RoamRight policyholders. We will walk through all of the features and summarize at the end which ones are available to travel insurance policyholders from RoamRight and which ones are available to anybody who downloads the app. And now I'd like to introduce our Vice President of Travel at RoamRight. His name is Bryce King. We're very excited to have him, that he made time in his schedule to join us today. Bryce led the development effort on the app, and so there's nobody better to tell us about it than the man who started it all. Here you go, Bryce.
Thanks, Vicki. Thanks, everybody, for joining this afternoon. I'm going to go ahead and get started. You should be able to see the application right now. This is the screen that you see when you download the app for the first time. You have the choice of either logging in, if you have an existing RoamRight account already, or you can create an account from the screen. I'm just going to go ahead and log right in with an existing account. Once we log in, this is what we refer to as the home screen. And I'm basically just going to walk you through from the top to the bottom and explain all the features and functionality. At the very top is the RoamRight logo. This RoamRight logo is everywhere in the application. You can always click on this and it will always bring you back to the home screen. And then on the left-hand side is a flyout menu that gives you this access to the same features you see here, as well as other things like logging out and updating your account. Moving down, you'll see this yellow scrolling bar. We refer to it as an alert ticker. And what this is a visual display of all of the relevant travel alerts that we've sent to your device that you haven't had a chance to read yet. And I'll talk a lot more about travel alerts in a few minutes. Moving down to the body of the application, we have 9 tiles. Our first tile is My Policies. If you click on My Policies, you'll see all of the past and current RoamRight policies that you've purchased. In this case, I have 3 active RoamRight policies for 3 different trips. From here, you can actually click the plus button and purchase a policy or associate an existing policy with your RoamRight account. If you click on a policy, it'll take you into the policy details. And here you'll see the travel dates, your policy number, and then all the benefits associated with the policy and the benefit limits. You also have access to the ID card and the confirmation of benefits for that policy. The ID card and confirmation of benefits are documents that are emailed to you electronically every time you purchase a RoamRight policy, but we also keep copies of them in your mobile app for easy reference. You also have a button to view claims for that policy. And what this does is it does a real-time look into our claims system to give you an update on the status of any open or closed claims you have and the approval or denial statuses. The second button is Buy a Policy. If you click on that, it simply brings up RoamRight's easy-to-use, mobile-friendly buying process. If you buy a travel insurance policy through the mobile app, that policy is automatically associated with your RoamRight account. The next tile is My Destinations. And what this does is this actually aggregates all of your destinations for all of your future trips into one place. It's an easy way to read information or alerts about any country you plan on going to. You can add countries to this by clicking the plus button and then selecting a country that you're going to visit on one of your itineraries and clicking Next. If you have more than one policy already, we ask you which policy you want to associate that country to. So we can click on a policy, and then that will add Australia to the list of countries that you're visiting. You'll see at the bottom there's 3 dots. that indicates you actually have 3 pages worth of destinations. You'll notice that a couple of the destinations have a yellow circle with a number in it. That indicates that there's actually a travel alert that you have not read for that destination. Clicking on that will actually open up the alert so you can read it. You have the ability to filter your destinations based on places you've visited before on past trips, that you're going to on future trips, or you can just look up a specific country that you want to read about. When you click on a country, it brings you into a whole suite of destination intelligence for that country. And we partner with an international security intelligence provider called iJet for all of our destination intelligence and alerts. They feed this data to us on a minute-by-minute basis, and we upload it to your application every 5 minutes. At the top of the screen, you'll see a threat gauge, and this basically is a visual representation of the overall security risk of traveling to that country, green being safer, red being more dangerous. And then you see categories of intelligence about that country. And these categories of intelligence range from security and crime risks to pre-travel planning like immunizations and air travel and important dates. Clicking on any of these will take you deeper into that intelligence for that country. The next row of tiles focuses more on those travel alerts and destination intelligence. And a little bit more on the alerts. We decide which alerts to send to your device based on where you're currently located. And we say if there's an alert that's applicable to it within a 100-mile radius of your current location, we're going to push that alert real-time to your mobile device. Additionally, if there are any alerts that are applicable to countries that you're planning on traveling to based on your Roam Right policies, we'll send those alerts to your device too. And then as those alerts are sent, we keep track of which ones you have not read yet. And those unread alerts will show up in the ticker at the top, and also as a number here on the travel alerts icon. So there's 8 alerts that I have not read yet that have been sent to my device. Clicking into the travel alerts will show you all these alerts that you haven't read yet. It also gives you the ability to filter that based on only where I'm currently located or only where I'm worried about the future destinations on my itineraries. Clicking on one of these alerts will actually drill into the information about the alert, a summary, a risk rating specific to that alert itself, and then a brief summary of the alert, more detailed analysis, and then advice. And what we're trying to do is say there's something that's going to happen either where you are or where you're going. That event may impact your travel. Here's what you need to know about it, and here's what you can do to avoid it or mitigate the risk that's presented by that alert. Now, in this panel, the travel alerts, we show only those alerts that are relevant to you. In the next screen, the alert map, we actually show all the alerts around the world. So you can actually zoom in or out and move around on the map and see everything that's out there. These are color-coded, red, green, and yellow. You can scroll around on the map and see the riskier places to travel in the world. Clicking on any of these alerts once will give you a quick summary of the alert and the date the alert was originally published. And then clicking on I will let you drill down further into that alert information. The next tile is risk ratings. And these are how we put together the overall threat level for that country. So if you click on the risk ratings, you'll see that there's the overall threat level, which is an aggregate of all these different factors: civil unrest, kidnapping risks, security risks, geopolitical terrorism, etc. And you'll see we categorize each one of those leading to that overall risk rating. And if you go back to a slightly safer destination, you'll see how those factors vary from country to country. And then moving on to the next row of tiles, these focus more on additional travel tools to help you while you're traveling. Travel documents is basically a secure repository of documents either associated with your policies or with your trip. You have the ability to take pictures and upload documents. So for those of you who remember the days of scanning or making a copy of your passport and sticking it in your suitcase, this is the modern equivalent. You can take a picture of your passport, it's saved to the Roam Right mobile app, it's encrypted and actually stored on Roam Right servers as well, so it's available to you from any of your mobile devices. So let's say your purse was stolen with your wallet and your passport and your phone. You go back to your hotel, get your iPad out of your suitcase, and download a copy of your passport. And simply clicking on one of these will bring up that photograph, or you can press the plus sign and go ahead and create a new travel document. The next feature are the medical phrase translations. And what these are categories of commonly used medical phrases describing how you feel or getting help or getting medical assistance. And we basically created medical phrases in each one of these categories that are commonly used, and we translated them into 7 different languages: simplified Chinese, German, French, Italian, Japanese, Latin American Spanish, and European Spanish. And these 7 languages represent the 7 most common translation needs of our customers. And then once you select a category of phrases in a language, you'll see a whole host of different phrases translated into that language in a written format. So you can actually take your phone and point to the phrase you want translated, and the native speaker can understand what you're saying. Or you can press the play button to the right,
请带我去看医生。
and it'll play an audio recording of that translation. And where the RoamRight mobile app really differentiates itself for the translations is that these are all stored resident on your device, so you don't need a data or internet connection to access this. Most translation applications require an internet connection. And the last feature are the drug equivalents. And what these are is basically taking the most common over-the-counter prescription drugs in the U.S. and associating them with their international counterparts. Advil is not called Advil everywhere in the world. So if I want Advil when I'm in Argentina, I would actually be looking for either one of these 2 prescription or drug names. And that wraps up the tiles in the middle of the RoamRight app. At the bottom, there's a couple other features I wanted to mention. Customer service, clicking on that gives you direct access to RoamRight's customer service, phone and email. You can press these numbers and have your phone dial it. The application will figure out the exit code if you're international and dial the number directly for you. The other feature is travel assistance, and this is a direct line to OnCall, which is our international assistance provider. Whenever you're traveling abroad and you need help, you dial this number. If you don't have telephone access or you don't want to use your minutes or roam, you can actually switch this to voice over IP, and similar to Skype, this will actually make the phone call over your internet connection. This also works on tablets, which is a nice feature if you don't have your phone handy. That's a quick overview of the RoamRight mobile app.
Great. Thanks, Bryce. I'd like to remind you, if you have any questions, feel free to submit them using the chat box. And while people are still submitting questions, I'll remind you again, you can visit roamright.com/app for more information or to download the app. And if you're interested in becoming a RoamRight partner and earning commission for your travel insurance sales and protecting your travelers with RoamRight plans and giving them access to the RoamRight app, you can visit roamright.com/partners. There's a form on the page. Fill it out, and one of our business development managers will be in contact with you shortly. We have a few questions coming in. We'll start with Molly, who asks, what happens after a policy expires?
Good question. The RoamRight application is available to current and past RoamRight policyholders. What we do is give you access to all the features of the application for up to 12 months after your trip ends. So even if you've purchased a policy and it's already expired, you can still download the application and associate your policy with your account, and even though it's expired, you'll still have access to all the features.
Karen wants to know which pieces of the app can be used if it's not connected.
If you don't have internet access, we enable the drug translations, the phrase translations, the travel documents, and any alerts that have been sent to your device. So the travel alerts tab in the middle left, which has just the alerts relevant to your trip, those are downloaded to your device as well and work offline.
And that actually reminds me, we forgot to mention which tiles are available to everybody and which tiles are available only to RoamRight policyholders. So can you talk about that for a minute?
Absolutely. So when you download the RoamRight app, we enable the drug equivalents and the medical phrase translations for anyone, and that's because they're good safety tools to have while you're traveling. We figure everybody should have access to that. The destination intelligence and access to your policies and destinations requires a RoamRight policy. And you can always buy a RoamRight policy through the RoamRight mobile app.
Tim says he only recently heard of RoamRight at a trade show. He wants to know more about us.
RoamRight is a subsidiary of Arch Insurance. Arch Insurance is a multi-billion-dollar publicly traded specialty lines insurance carrier. Arch has been in the travel insurance industry for over a decade as an underwriter. Arch has underwritten several of the biggest names in the industry. A few years ago, Arch realized it wanted to play a greater role in the travel insurance space, and it also wanted greater control over its customer service and claims. So it created RoamRight as its own travel insurance business.
Sandra asks if it's possible to get additional languages translated. She says that Portuguese is a good one because the World Cup's coming up this year.
Very good point. And we're actually looking into Portuguese right now, some other people's advice. We are always open to adding new languages. We closely monitor where our travelers are going, and as we see trends in those demographics, we'll add languages accordingly.
Okay, and Anne asks, if a policy is bought through the app, do I still get the commission? That's
Absolutely.
something every travel agent's probably asking.
Absolutely. So the way it works is that if your client purchases a policy through you initially, and you're associated to that policyholder for future purchases that happen through the mobile app. So then if they purchase through the app, that policy is automatically associated to you, and you're commissioned at the same rate you were for the initial sale.
Sally says she can't find it on Android.
So we are actually in beta testing for the Android version, and we hope to have that in the Play Store and production release by the end of April 2014. So if you give us another week or so, you should be okay. And if you sign up for the RoamRight newsletter, you'll be notified when it hits the Play Store.
Thanks, Bryce. Those are all the questions that have come in for today. Again, if you have any other questions or would like to become a RoamRight partner, please visit roamright.com/partners, and we will be in contact with you. Thank you so much, and have a good day.